If you're anything like me, you're up at 3 a.m. on Pinterest and Google looking for your dream bedroom. Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey! I have dreamed about this bedroom for what feels like years. Today I'm going to share with you my chic for cheap ideas to get the bedroom of your dreams. So let's jump right in. I wanted quite a big piece for this framed piece in my bedroom, so I used one of those Walmart poster frames that are 16 by 20, and they're originally black, so I spray painted this first with my almond just to give it a base for me, and then I went over that with my plaster from Waverly, and after that was good with one coat, I took a baby wipe and my antique wax and I did the entire frame. So I just kind of made it not so white. You know what I mean? I gave it that little antique-y look. And I think it is super cute, but I wanted to add a little bit more. So I just took my dry brush and I went through. I did a little bit heavier on the corners. And then I just did lines throughout the entire frame. Every part got it. And that was just to kind of give it kind of like a vintage look. Now here's that plastic that you get to cover the poster. I took some regular poster board that I had laying around from the kids' projects and I hot glued it to the plexiglass. So I did it with the shiny side down just so it'd be easier to paint, and I'm just hot gluing it in sections just so it doesn't dry on me before I get to put the paper down. Before doing this project, I went online to find some artwork. So what I'm doing here is just cutting off the excess poster board. Can you believe this cost $79? I am still in awe of how expensive this is. So then I'm going through with my plaster. I'm going to use this paint for pretty much all my projects today, and I just paint the poster board just so it doesn't look like poster board. You know what I mean? So it actually looks like a painted, finished project. I went to my Cameo and I printed out some words, and I used a brown vinyl because my room decor I think it would match really nice with. I just laid it down, and then I have my let's, so you're gonna see what we're gonna do here. And I did the get first so that way it'd be easier to line up the other words, but you do it however you like it, but this is how I wanted it. So I wanted the let's to be a little bit at an angle, and you'll see that in the next picture here. So now I have cozy, so let's get cozy, and that is the complete theme to this room. It is super adorable and I love all this decor. And then I just peeled off my transfer paper, and I save all my transfer paper to use it for other projects, and I'm just putting everything back into the frame and securing it. How sweet is this? Instead of $79, I used a poster frame I had laying around the house for free. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Today I'm participating in Chic for Cheap, hosted by Christy Creates DIY. If you haven't checked out her channel, you need to. She does the cutest DIYs and she's just so sweet. I had found this for $58 on Walmart.com, so let's see if we can get it cheaper. Here's one of those breakfast in bed trays. I got this for $5.99 and I definitely needed a little sprucing up, so I brought it out to the garage and I spray painted it with my Rust-Oleum white, and I gave it 2 coats. This tray is so big you can only see a portion. I'm painting the whole thing with my Rust-Oleum linen chalk paint. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We do a lot of Dollar Tree crafts, DIY, gifts and decor, thrift flipping, and more. If you like these kind of videos, please consider subscribing. To all my returning friends and subscribers, thank you. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. I still can't believe I got this for $5.99. Now I wanted to add a top to this to go with that French inspired idea, and I went through with a heavy dose of Mod Podge. I'm not a big fan of using these foam brushes for Mod Podge, but this is what I use. Next time, just use a regular brush. I have this cardstock I got from my Cozy Neutrals pack that I got at Michael's, and I thought this was going to be super cute, like a reminder of a French bistro or a French cafe. After I laid it down, I did a good rubbing with my Mod Podge tool, and then I also used a little scraper, and that was just to get out the majority of the air bubbles. And now I go over with another generous coat of Mod Podge, and I cover the entire thing. Don't worry about those lines not lining up, we're going to fix that. So I cut out a skinnier pattern just to lay over that seam, just so that way you can't tell that the lines aren't matched up. I wasn't going to go crazy trying to line it up, and then I just did another coat of Mod Podge over it. And I think this is super cute. Again, this is going to be for a tray that goes on my bed, or you know, I could use on the couch when I'm sitting there trying to do some work. And here I am just distressing the paper. So there were some bubbles, and I'm just going through with a sandpaper and I'm just scruffing it up just to give it that vintage feel. I like to poke holes and just make it a little bit more distressed, and that way it gives it almost like a cottage feel mixed with vintage, but we're still kind of French inspired. This is what I thought of when I thought of French inspired, and I am so in love with this. And now I go through and I do another coat of Mod Podge, and I make sure I really get into those spots that I had distressed. That way everything adheres to the surface underneath. How adorable is this? Oh my goodness, this is so cute. I love this. To be honest, I don't eat breakfast in bed, but I might now because this tray is just super cute. I think it is adorable, and you can use it with it laying down. So this is definitely functionable, and you can hide it under your bed. I saw something similar for $64. And I have these canvases I had gotten from Michael's. I got them on clearance, so were all under $1, and I took all the canvases off. And now I'm just gonna go through and do a little wood glue and a little hot glue, and we're gonna start making our window. And I've seen this with Dollar Tree frames, but I have so many of these. Like I said, I bought them on Black Friday, so I have a lot to work with. And this was super easy, and they held up very well. And then I go through and I use my plaster again from my first project, and I just go over it. And now I'm gonna distress it a little bit. I don't go heavy on the plaster or the distressing, just a little bit here and there. Wherever I feel like I did too much, I rub it off, and that is it. It's really so simple. This is just a Dollar Tree wreath. And I have this Dollar Tree ribbon here. I thought it was really pretty with the polka dots. I had it in black and white, but because I did that window frame white, I thought this would look nice with the white polka dots. And all I'm doing is just wrapping the entire thing over and over and over. I did use an entire thing of the ribbon, and I'm just gonna hot glue it to the end. And you can see I have a little spot here where it's bare, so I'm going to put on some flowers, but I have to clear up that spot after, you'll see. So we're gonna take some herbs and greenery, and we're just gonna lay it down where I think it looks nice. I was gonna stick it under the ribbon, but I decided just to hot glue it right to the ribbon. And then I have a little bit of baby's breath. I'm gonna add just a little bit, just so it's whimsical and not too heavy. I think it's super sweet, but now we need to figure out that middle. So I have another Dollar Tree ribbon. This one has a little bit of lace on it. I thought it would match. It looks cute. So I hot glued it, and then I wrapped it a couple times just to cover up that spot. And then I'm gonna hot glue a little loop here just to make it look like it's hanging by a loop. you're new to my channel, you might not know we live in a very old house. We have a 2-story cottage that was built in 1925. We have done a lot of renovation, but this room has not been touched. We did take all the wallpaper down. There were about 3 sets of different wallpaper. Not sure how old it was, but it was pretty bad, and it left our room in somewhat of chaos. And I decided it was time. We are going to redo this, and we had quite a job ahead of us. So first, this is a tip that was given to me by my best friend. Her husband owns his own painting company, and he suggested to use oil-based paint as a primer. And this was so that none of the glue from the old wallpaper comes through the new wallpaper, if that makes sense. So here I am, just painting away, and I am starting my wallpaper. I am doing 2 different kinds of wallpaper. I'm doing an accent wall, which is going to be behind my bed, and this is what you can see here. This is a beautiful wallpaper. I love how it matches everything that I picked. Doing it yourself definitely saved money. I had gotten peel and stick wallpaper, which is easier when you think about it, but at the same time, I would rather have gone and done the real wallpaper if I was to do this all over again. But it definitely was easier if you were to just do one single wall. For the remaining walls in this room, I decided with a faux shiplap, and I think it is super cute, super pretty. Although, here is my tip for you. I read on the internet, when you're doing wallpaper, you should overlap the edges, the seams, overlap it a little bit, like a centimeter or so. I didn't do that, and as the days have gone on now, I have noticed it separating a little bit, which I am not too upset about. As you saw from the beginning, this was a salvage procedure. This just needed something to cover it up so our walls wouldn't crumble on top of us while we were sleeping. But if you're gonna do this, definitely pay attention to the advice online and overlap your seams. When you buy the wallpaper, the peel and stick, there are some tools that are ready to go for wallpapering, and I suggest you get them. They're just a simple little scraper and flattener. I don't know what the names are, but they come in a little kit right next to the peel and stick wallpaper. Make sure you get that. It definitely saves time and energy when you are cutting the excess wallpaper off. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Down in the comments, let me know what your favorite part was today. Do you need a room makeover? If you were inspired by this video to redo your room or change up your bedding or maybe add a little coziness for fall, please let me know, and also consider subscribing. I have a lot coming up. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. Another way to support my channel is buymeacoffee.com. That link is down in my description. If you haven't watched the full video on how I made the decor, go ahead and watch that video now. You will not be disappointed. Don't forget, this was a challenge, Chic for Cheap, hosted by Christy Creates. Head down to my description to follow along the playlist. I'll see you guys soon, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this final reveal. I hope you're inspired to redo your bedroom chic for cheap.